How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Welcome to Toronto Talk Show. It's nice to have you.
It's nice to be there.
Welcome.
Excellent. So today we're going to discuss with you your novel, right? Move over Shakespeare, because the king
Absolutely.
has arrived, right?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've been from my early teens. I started writing songs, and I got in a band and everything. And then, of course, some people say songs are like poems.
True.
So basically, evolved into where I started writing poetry as well.
Okay. So why did you choose the title Move Over Shakespeare? Because that was one of the greats.
I appreciate it. Well, the reason it's called that is that I used to recite poems that I used to write to my friends at big gatherings, and they'd all gather around. And then after I read the poem and recited the poem, they'd say, "Who wrote that?" And I'd say, "I wrote that." And they said, "No, no, no. You didn't write that." I said, "Yes, I wrote that."
Oh,
They said, "No, that sounds like some Shakespeare kind of stuff."
okay, okay. Nice. I
So
like that.
But
they were
Shakespeare's the best.
they were
If you
comparing me
compare
to
yourself to
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare, that's huge.
It's crazy.
Well, it takes crazy people to sit down and focus and actually do something from beginning to end. So I like crazy.
Yeah, crazy's
Absolutely.
good.
Yeah, totally.
What's your favorite poem that you wrote in the book?
Well,
I
the
know that there's
problem,
quite a few, but if there's
yeah.
one that were to stick out that you were just like it moves you when you actually like a lot of thought went into it, a lot of emotion went into it, a lot of compassion. Like which is your one that stands out that you're just like it rips me apart?
Well, definitely the first. Well, there's some, there's emotional ones in there, there's humorous ones in there, and there's serious ones in there, and
Oh yeah, you're all over the place.
there's really imaginative ones in there. The first poem in the book is the first poem for a reason, because that's the one that people love. It's called The Unforgotten Tale, Black Rose, and it takes you
Okay.
through a huge journey from beginning to end. And that one definitely has to be the one that gets people the most, and it
Oh,
probably gets me the most as well, of course.
nice.
Yeah.
So when you decide to write poetry, because that's such an emotional thing, I think. You know what I mean? Uh, if you're writing fiction or whatever, it's an emotional journey. What inspires you?
Well, believe it or not, this every poem in this book, probably at least 99% of them, I might have written it down. My hand was moving, but they came to me.
Okay,
So
understand that.
they
Totally.
just came. So who knows? I mean, I'm not comparing myself to Shakespeare. Other people have. That's why that's in the title of the book.
Nice. I like the title. Actually, when I saw the book, it really gripped me, so I animated it for you. How did you like that?
I think it's awesome.
Yeah?
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
authors, come to Bestie Books.
Cool, and it's very creative.
Well, thank you. We take credit for that. The only thing we can take a little credit for when it comes to your novel. But
I just wanted to know about your what is the point of pain without any gain? No love, no memory to claim. That one's the one that sticks out for me.
There's never any game without pain. I mean, unfortunately,
Right?
in life, people think you just everything poof it appears and here it is, it's yours. But there's always something behind it. So it's never just you never just get something. You have to work really hard to achieve something. And being here, sitting here with you guys, and this is an honor, of course, and I've worked really hard. So everything that I do to promote the book, everything, every step of the way, everyone that writes me after they get the book and they tell me that I read this poem in your book. I can't even believe you wrote that, but I know you did because I have the book.
Yeah,
This poem changed my outlook on life about certain situations, and that is a huge compliment.
I bet
for
it.
sure. 100%.
I
Yeah,
bet
it seems like you've heard it before somewhere else, and it's just like, have I heard this before?
it
No,
resonated.
it's yours. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's I've had a lot of positive feedback. I have mostly 5-star reviews on my Amazon reviews. There was one 4.9 or 4 review, but all the rest were all 5-star reviews. So I mean,
It's true because
You're off to a good start.
even on your Amazon account, the reviews are wonderful. I read through them. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. So that's good. People are enjoying your book, you know. So,
more. Yep.
what's the next step for you?
Well, the next step is, the first step, of course, is to get the word out about this book, which we're doing, of course, and I have been doing. I've been on many big radio shows so far. I was on People of Distinction with Al Cole, who is nationally syndicated to millions of people all across America and everywhere.
Wow,
Uh,
you're honored.
yeah,
Okay, keep
me,
going.
me, a person of distinction. That I mean, that's pretty.
Shakespeare, who?
Yeah,
You
I
are the
mean,
new Shakespeare. You are the
Hmm.
Shakespeare of 2020.
Well, he doesn't really want to title himself that. He's saying that people reviewed and put him in that light. So I get it. I totally
No,
get it.
but get rid of Shakespeare now. Like, move on, Shakespeare. Move on.
That's
well,
right.
yeah,
You're being taken over.
I'm not saying like I said, people compared me to him, and I never claimed that
Right,
I am
right.
Shakespeare. Or
So yeah, we're not gonna go
yeah,
there with that because
yeah.
Shakespeare is wonderful, but I think your work is wonderful because if people are comparing you to that, that is marvelous.
Yeah, that's huge.
Well, as you can see the name on the top of the book there, and Barnum is a well-known name.
Hmm.
And if you ever heard of P.T. Barnum, the greatest showman on earth,
Venus. Yep.
I'm a direct descendant, and you can see in the book it says that. But I
Yeah,
mean, so I have lineage of greatness, and I aspire to be great myself.
and I
The greatest
appreciate
showman on earth.
I think you will absolutely. Most authors don't realize this, and like when you write a book, you also have to write like a business plan, kind of like a promotional plan. A book, it goes on Amazon and nobody knows it's there. You have to get the word out. You have to go to different medium, not one, not two, like you've been,
I,
right?
I work my butt off. I if I tell
We're
you,
trying to help you.
Yes,
yeah,
wait,
no,
wait.
I understand. I appreciate it. I promote my
Yes.
book on so many ways. The reason I got here with you guys is obviously we linked up, so I've been promoting myself everywhere. And you guys are in Canada, correct?
Yep.
Correct.
Toronto.
I have sold many copies in Canada. I've sold a bunch of copies in the UK, which is phenomenal. So I'm going worldwide.
We're
So
getting you around the world.
this is going out there. So everybody watching this in Canada, uh, if you need a book where even if you don't like poetry, but you do like great stories, which everybody does, people like movies. This book isn't just necessarily poetry. As you can see, The Black Rose on Forgotten Tale and many other ones are stories where they'll take you through a journey from beginning to end and make you feel, hopefully, some type of emotion. And just so even if you don't like poetry, if you do like great stories, I encourage you to pick this book up.
And that's a nice thing about poetry novels. It's like you're saying, it's a bunch of short stories, so you could read one. You don't have to read a whole 450-page book to get to the conclusion, right? So it's just
Correct.
like, that's excellent. So for the people that just like short stories, I really recommend your book. And, I would love to get feedbacks. Whoever reads your book, send us a link. Give us your feedback. We want to know. You know what I mean? And we
I
want
would love to read the feedback as well.
Yeah, which was your favorite poem? Which one touched you the most?
Absolutely.
Because each one touches somebody differently, and somebody reads it and interprets it different, and then sometimes you have to read it 2 or 3 times just to see like how it moves you.
Correct. I mean, there's a poem in there called "The Color Blue." There was people that told me that they loved that one. As I said, the first poem in the book, a lot of people like that one. There's one called "Painted Face." It's kind of a sad poem, but it goes through the range of emotion. So every poem's not just stagnant about the same thing. Every poem you read is going to give you a different emotion. Whether it be, and the last poem in the book, if you have read that one, most people that read it told me they laughed their butt off after reading it. So there's a couple humorous poems in there as well, just to give you every range of emotion.
That's
Are
awesome.
most poems for you fact or fiction?
Um,
Wonderful question, my dear. That's so
that's a
awesome.
that is the best question, definitely.
Yes, I
There,
like that.
believe it or not, there are a few that are fact, but the way I write poetry, as if you guys read it as you see, and everyone that picks it up will see, they're puzzles. Every poem is a puzzle, and you read it from beginning to end. You'll think, I know what this means. This means this, but then she'll think, no, I
Yeah, you
think
have
this
to read
means
it a couple times to
The
interpret it.
interpretation,
correct. And
right.
you can even read the same poem another day, and you'll think it means something different. So that's
Depending on your mood, yeah.
correct. That's the intent of the poems. So there are some that are factual, but they're written in a puzzle roundabout way, which you have to figure out. But there are a lot of them which are pure imagination, which you would think, no, this is probably something real he's writing about. So I like the reader to figure it out. I'd like you to tell me what you think. So there goes our feedback, whoever wants the feedback.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It might be
Now,
easier
yeah.
to write,
Go ahead.
about a fairy tale than you could. When you're writing about your heart, then it's a little bit harder. You don't know how much you want to share, how much you want to involve. Like, you might keep back a little bit.
She's right on the money because I just like to tell you a quick fact. I probably had at least 6 or 7, maybe 10 more I could have put in the book, but they were, as you just stated,
Too personal.
just a little too much, and I didn't
Those
want
are the
to.
ones I want to read.
Yeah. Can
Those
we
are
get
the
a
ones I
little,
want to read.
VIP copy of those
Come
ones?
on now.
All right, so I'll tell you the good news. I wasn't doing anything up until about 6 months ago to create another book, but about 6 months ago I did start writing another book, so maybe I'll include those ones in my next book.
Okay.
You see, you two gals, you two think alike. You've got your book in the background, and so do you.
See,
Marvelous touch.
we're on to
I got
something
the
here.
ocean.
You're one of these things is doing their
Dreaming
own
of the
You
ocean. Yeah,
guys are awesome.
it's like awesome to see this. It's wonderful, and I
Can't
just
wait for part 2.
is there going to be a part 2? Is there going to be a part 2?
Yes.
Well, with all his new ones and his hidden ones that didn't make
Well,
it to this book.
if he's going to have part 2 with the hidden ones, then I'm interested.
I'm gonna have a part 2, but as you said, you just like her knew me very well. The Shakespeare is gonna be dropped now, like you said.
Yep, Shakespeare's out of the way. Move out of here,
She
Shakespeare.
knew. That's why when you said that earlier, I was thinking that too, because I don't know what the title of the next book will be because I'm not up to that point yet. But the Shakespeare will be dropped. You're correct.
The
Nice.
greatest poet, like the
Nice.
greatest showman.
Nice.
Oh.
Go
We
ahead.
gotta go down in history. It's the greatest showman, so he has to go down as the greatest poet. He's getting Shakespeare out of the way.
I'm carrying on the family name and trying to do the best that I can.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I hope everybody
Keep up the great work.
You know what? There's a question I want to ask.
Sure.
How would I phrase this? how would you instruct a new author about going about writing? Did that even come out right? But anyway.
Well, I understand the gist of what you're saying. And what I would say, because there's so many authors out there right now that may be watching this, and they may be saying to themselves, they have everything they needed to write. They're going through the editing process, and they're second guessing themselves. And they're like, I don't think maybe I shouldn't do this. I'm going to tell you, I am going to tell you 100% do it. Put it out there. Let the public decide what they think of it, but don't just keep it and hold on to it, second guess yourself, and don't do it. Just go and do it. And
You have
that's
nothing
it.
to lose.
That's right. Get it out there.
Yeah,
So
try.
are you telling us that when you were writing, you had no fear? Or this is why you're saying this because you went through all those emotions?
Well, I'm a pretty fearless person, so I don't have any fear.
Oh, that's awesome. I don't either. God, bring
Yeah.
it on. Bring
No,
it on.
I mean, I go for it basically, and I had to publish it and put it out there because but I'm not going to say I don't have any fear because those poems that went too deep, I did leave them out. So overcome that fear for my next book.
Yeah.
So
Baby steps, baby steps.
Yeah. So I'm not perfect and I'm not a robot. I am human and I do have a little fear.
It's not that. You can't give it all to us. You gotta, only a little bit at a time. If you give it all to us, then you can't have a second book.
Correct. There's way
Leave
more
us
to
wanting more.
And it looks so much better. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I want to wish you the best. Nice meeting you.
Nice
And
meeting you.
we will definitely get in touch with you again because we want
right.
success. Or that's the motive behind what we're doing here.
I appreciate it.
All right?
More books sold.
Stay lovey. Until next time.
Have a great weekend.
And until next time, and I look forward to seeing you guys again.
No problem.
If anybody loves great stories or very profound poetry that will definitely make you think deeply, get this book.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
All right. C'est la vie.
C'est la vie.
Goodbye, sir.